I'm meteorologist Sean Dawson. This is the Fox 26 Tropical Update for YouTube. Thanks for finding us here. We're here every afternoon, a little bit after 4 o'clock. If there's a super active Atlantic or if there's activity in the Pacific, we sort of divide it all up, talk about whatever we can, and we have more time here on YouTube. So thanks for finding us. Let's dive in and talk about Fiona. Fiona is definitely what we've been looking at, as this is a tropical storm that sort of came to life quite quickly out in the Atlantic. And it's still a system, though, that is not all that healthy looking overall, and it is going to continue to struggle, although the winds are going to pick up a bit, and there's going to be some heavy downpours, a lot of rain that goes along with it. I think the winds itself will be fairly manageable, and until it kind of can get out into some other areas, it's not going to really grow into that classic hurricane structure that we're used to seeing. This storm is sort of getting sheared a little bit, and what that means is the upper level winds are really kind of blowing everything to the east. So the center of circulation is over on the west side here of all of this rain that you're seeing, and most of the rain is kind of getting blown over, and it kind of just sort of gets it a little bit lopsided. It doesn't have that classic hurricane structure with a defined eye that really helps it to grow stronger and into a bigger storm sometimes as well. So this storm will continue to maintain tropical storm strength and move to the west, but it is going to, again, somewhat struggle as it moves along and not just continue to grow quickly and strongly. So we're looking over here at the Windward Islands, and we're seeing there, as well as over into Puerto Rico, we're seeing the tropical storm warnings that has been put up, because it definitely is expected that we're going to have a tropical storm in the vicinity, and definitely feeling the impacts of that as well. So here's what some of the computer models are showing. So this is, again, quite a bit of a collection of the models, and it's pretty consistent. We'll see that westerly track, and then once we get a couple more days into things, we get to a little bit more variety as far as exactly where we'll see Fiona go. But Fiona continues to move to the island of Hispaniola and then begins to take that northerly or northwesterly track. So all confidence at this point is that this will not get into the Gulf of Mexico, and it will continue to stay out in the Atlantic. So very confident in that. So if you're a Fox 26 viewer, we're not concerned about this coming to Houston. If you're on the East Coast, I think it does deserve a little closer of a watch, although we're expecting that this is probably going to end up staying out in the Atlantic as well, as Fiona continues to make its western. I'm not sure why, but I want to make this, or I want to feel like it's a lot closer to populated areas than what it actually is. It's still pretty far out in the Atlantic, and we're going to have a couple more days to watch it before it really gets into some more populated areas. And for sure, it's way out from the U.S. And so to give us a little bit better of an idea on that, we can sort of dive into that track from the National Hurricane Center and sort of take a look again at where these days are. So when we look at Friday and then Saturday, that's when we're going to get into the weekend and into Puerto Rico. Maximum sustained winds around 60 miles an hour. So that's a powerful tropical storm, but it's still the 8 to 10 inches of rain that's also going to be coming along with it, where some of those concerns are. And then we get into Sunday and Monday, we're getting that northwesterly track now a little bit, and we start getting closer into the U.S. Virgin Islands. And it does sort of look like it wants to line itself up and really head right towards Florida or the East Coast or something like that. But there's some other steering components that we're going to look at here in just a moment. They're going to help sort of take that away from the East Coast that it looks like. Let's pause for a moment and kind of get those current conditions in case you're one who likes to kind of track it a little bit. This is the 4 p.m. update again from the National Hurricane Center. The winds are at 60 miles an hour. Those are maximum sustained winds, and the current movement at 14 miles an hour. So pretty typical as far as what we'd expect to see. That pressure is holding at about 1,006 millibars at the moment. So as we move through time, we'll see this fluctuate a little bit, but not a whole lot. You see how we're holding quite steady. Currently 60 mile an hour winds, and even as we get into Monday, we're looking at possibly 70 mile an hour winds. So it's a slow, gradual increase. And a lot of that having to do with those upper level winds that I was talking about, shearing the storm, causing the problems when it starts to interact with land. That's not going to help it grow any stronger as well. Let's switch to one of our GFS, or switch to one of our models. This is the GFS, or the American model. You can see that rotation. You can see the storms and the rain that goes along with it. And then we're continuing to move this through. We've talked about how consistent we see the models being at this point once we get into the weekend. And you'll again watch our clock up here. We're at Saturday right now. And then as we continue to move on through, it continues to sort of have a lot of land interaction. But once it gets out, and this is next week, so this is going to be Tuesday of next week before it kind of breaks out back into the Atlantic, away from land, except for some smaller islands, perhaps the U.S. Virgin Islands that are going to be out there. This is where we'll see probably a little of more favorable conditions for that classic shape to start to form, and that helps it to grow and get stronger. And you can see how this gets to be a little bit more intense looking, and this is well past that 5-day forecast from the Hurricane Center. So we could be looking at a stronger tropical storm or a weak hurricane here. And then of course we're going to watch as we get closer to the U.S. coastline, and we'll see that just decide, nope, I don't think I do want to go to the East Coast. I'm going to curve off a little bit here and start heading more to the north, and then eventually over to the northeast. So we have some high pressure along with a front that will probably be coming through, and then all that's going to help kind of steer things off. So it looks like at the moment that Fiona is not going to make it all the way to the east coast of the U.S. But as I mentioned, if you're in Florida, if you're on the East Coast, you're definitely going to be checking in over the weekend and just making sure that Fiona is doing what it's supposed to be doing. If you're like me in Houston, or you're along the Gulf Coast, you're a little less concerned overall that it's going to come visit you at your house, but it's definitely something that we want to keep continuing to stay updated on. So I hope you'll check back here every afternoon, even on the weekends. We're here updating YouTube, giving you the latest of what's happening in the tropics.